All right. All right. Let's get that mask on. Oh, I love it. I feel like it's Halloween again.
Oh, hold on.
That's right.
What up, guys?
Let's
There we go.
There we go. Where'd he go?
Oh my god. Is that coming through his?
Yeah.
Or is that through ours?
Oh, it's coming through him.
Oh, okay. Kirk, you can hear all that?
Kirk, are you?
Huge food, guys.
Do you?
Kirk, are you watching it live?
I am. Yeah, I'm watching it live.
That's why. Mute it.
Okay. Kirk, you can hear all that? Kirk, you can hear all Kirk, are you? Do you guys?
Did you mute it? Oh no.
Oh, he turned off his audio.
I put it back on.
You might have to mute YouTube itself.
You're gonna have to mute YouTube. You have to go to YouTube and mute YouTube. Kurt's trying to get fancy.
Did you mute it?
Oh, he turned off his audio.
No, I didn't. I didn't turn off the audio. I don't have YouTube on.
You're not on the YouTube video?
Why
is he doing that?
Hold on one second. What's going on?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Sorry. I got it.
It's okay. Little rough patch. We're fine.
We.
Got it.
So is that gonna go away?
Hopefully. You muted YouTube itself?
I turned it on.
How's it doing that?
I don't know. Did you say you weren't using a microphone?
What's going on?
You can hear us, right, Kurt?
Yep.
Where is that background coming from?
Why is this happening? It's not me, Steph. Don't say what the fuck.
I'm not using a microphone. Let me switch to the microphone.
If you mute that, we can't hear him.
I know. There's background noise coming from somewhere.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
And does it stop?
And Kirk, you said you're not playing YouTube at all?
I shut it down. But now I've put on this headset mic, switched, so I'm no longer using the mic that's built into my Mac.
Okay, maybe that's it.
And the background's gone. There's some kind of interference then. I don't know how that happened or why that happened.
It's still delaying.
Well, there's going to be a delay because of Skype. You can hear me, right?
You want to reconnect?
All right, so hold on. Your YouTube is completely shut down, right? You said?
I'm gonna turn off everything but this Skype.
This is the joy of going live. You get to like troubleshoot while you're
Do
while
live
you're live.
podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be fun, they said. Casey.
What? Who's that even geared towards, Casey? Like,
Steph, I swear to God, I will reach through this computer.
uh-oh. What did you hit?
Hit a space bar. That's all.
Oh. All right, so we don't know what just happened there. We're gonna call Kirk back in a minute. Don't you start that shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sick.
You told me you were fine.
I said I was feeling a little bit better than I
Oh,
was.
Jesus Christ.
I never once said I was perfectly fine.
Yeah, bro, I'm good. Yeah.
I'm better than I was, is what I said.
Is Kirk calling?
Yes.
Go ahead and answer that bad boy.
Hey, Kirk.
All right, try this again.
All right.
All right. So, no backfeed. We're good.
No, I'm good. We're good now.
We're good now. Okay. Do you want to try removing your microphone and seeing what happens? Just so you don't have. I know you weren't.
Sure.
Well, no, because I know you weren't a fan of it. So,
Shut up, Oscar.
unless you just want to rock
now
it, we're good.
All right, so now just the mic on the
Yeah, and
on
we're
the iMac.
and
Is
we're
that cool?
yeah, we're good. We're good. It had to have been YouTube being open somewhere. There was a backfeed problem with YouTube being open.
Yeah, I must have had a page open, so I just shut down all of Safari, the browser, but that of course shut you guys off.
That's okay. We'll turn you up now, so we don't have any mice squeaking in our ear. Everybody, what's going on?
All right, I think I can take this off now.
Oh wait, by the way, hold on. His big introduction. There's Batman behind us. What up, Kirk?
I should have had somebody else do that. I should have my son do that.
Yeah, that's okay. You're here, and that's all that matters. And you've got quite the showing right now. You got
Oh,
Okay?
he just broke Tom's heart.
Why?
Tom goes, just do not remove the mask.
Oh, Thomas said don't remove the mask, and he did.
my man.
Yeah,
Thomas.
we got Oscar here too. Oscar and
Oscar's
Casey
here.
are both here.
Yep.
That's man.
You have
Superwoman.
you have some saviors watching. We got CJ Rhodes here.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got quite the. Of course, we have a lot of regulars. We have Tiffany's here, Jeannie's here, Gay's here, Christy's here. There's Terry's here.
Hey, what time is it over there in England?
Right now, they're 5 out. They're 5 hours ahead, so it's like 1:10 in the morning.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't see her. I don't,
You are. Same thing with Linda. Linda's from France.
Yeah, Linda's out there. Yep.
She's
So,
there.
Linda is here, I believe. If she's not here yet, she will be here.
You guys are the best.
Lisa's here, Renee's here, Aaron's here, Michelle's here. They're all saying hi. How are you? Stephanie's here.
What?
Marcus Pullen is here, and he's from the Scavengers.
Thomas, don't play with us like that.
What Thomas say?
He goes, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is sitting next to me watching right now.
Yeah, okay. You know what, Thomas? Listen, I still have something for you for not taking a picture of us at the damn Walker Stalker.
Really,
con,
Stitch?
Tom. What?
Really? Poor
happened?
Jeff, his eyes are going to bleed. Really?
Why?
Looking at us.
Jeff? Oh, Jeffrey?
Yes.
You know what? Linda says she's listening, but she can't send comments.
Is she signed in?
I'm here, but I can't write any
So
comments.
there's no way. There's no way for me to see the comments as they're posted.
Not unless you can zoom in on this screen right here.
No, you could load up.
You
I
can.
hate to say this, but you can load up YouTube and look at the comments live, as long as you know that for a fact YouTube is muted.
Dude, we are lucky to be
Here,
here
live.
now. So let's not screw that up. I'll trust
Yeah.
you guys to relay
wrong one.
any messages or questions that people have.
No, so all right, so we're about to go live on Instagram. So we're gonna have you live on Insta. We'll have you live here on YouTube.
I'm like all over the place.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing good. You're doing good, you. You're good, you.
Well, listen, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure to meet you guys in New Jersey.
Yes.
And thanks. Big shout out to Oscar for introducing me. And I've heard an awful lot about you guys. Everybody that follows me on Twitter is real big fans of yours, and so it was a real honor when you asked me to be a part of this, and I appreciate it very much. So.
Well, thank you for agreeing to do it, man. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, look, when I saw the bond you two created at the con there, where Ryan forgot I even existed, and I was walking around doing all sorts of shit, trying to promoting and stuff, and I'm just like, there's Ryan still talking to Kirk. All right, and then but that's cool. That's great. I'm happy that happened because you guys had a great comic conversation.
I will never be accused of having too little to say.
That's all right.
Same.
That works really well for this kind of thing, so that's good.
Especially when it comes to comic books.
Yeah. Well,
the comic book.
Yeah, true. And we all know 2018 is going to be huge as far as comic movies go.
Crazy. I just saw today. Here we go. We're up and running, Ryan. I just saw today that Black Panther. I think I tweeted it out. Has already sold out of all of its pre-sale tickets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I believe it.
That's like the middle of February or something.
Yeah.
So it is. It's going to be crazy. Infinity War. I don't even know what's that. That's just going to be off the hook.
I'm really hoping that this Marvel Fox deal really plays a big factor into that, because one thing that I would love to see, and this is just going off of the actors as much as it is the characters, I would love to see a three-way interaction with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and Chris Evans as Captain America. Mm-hmm. Because I feel
you say you want to see them in a three-way?
Interaction, not in a threesome, okay? Calm down.
Jesus
Christ.
This is exactly why I wanted him here.
I'm just saying, I think that the banter that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have going on is phenomenal, and both their characters don't give a shit what they say and how they say it.
Right.
And I feel like, good old boy America there would, Captain America would be like, guys, language.
Well, I think we're gonna see a big change in the Chris Evans Captain America, where he's not going to be that character anymore.
No, he'll be the Nomad.
Yeah, they've already led into that whole Nomad thing, and you see him in the previews, no Captain America outfit whatsoever.
Right.
I'm wondering if they're going to have Bucky become Captain America, though.
I think so.
I think that was a really good storyline in the comics, and I think they'll pick up on that. There's a lot of word that Chris Evans wants to get out of doing it. He's been doing it a long time. Plus, it gives chance to have a dramatic death in the Infinity Wars, and I think that they've kind of avoided that for a long time, and it's now got to they've got to go there. I think so. That would be a pretty dramatic one, and then of course that was in the comics as well. The Fallen Sun storyline. So. Just coming back to a second about the Hugh Jackman overlap, I think that I theorized that they might actually do what's a storyline called Secret Wars.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And where they alternate universes, because then they could have him come back as like Old Man Logan.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think there's no way he's going to come back as the main Wolverine. They'll create a new Wolverine, but it would be great to have him play Old Man Logan, which would be a fantastic role for him, I think.
I know they confirmed that they're going to be doing more with with X-23 and her becoming the new Wolverine within the X-Men universe and everything. And I'm all for it. I love X-23 as a character.
That's great. The word is that may come up for some Academy Award nominations.
Yeah. And you know what? I forgot the actress's name, but she plays X-23. Did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I think she really did. One of my favorite scenes was her little foot claw that she has in the comics. Yeah. And she like slit the guy's throat. I was like, damn. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. But I would love for him to come back as Old Man Logan and be a mentor for X-23.
Be awesome. Well, didn't take long. Boom, we're off and running on comics.
You know what? I want to know.
That's what Chris said today too.
I want to know who are you speculating dies in Infinity War?
Well, like I said, I think Captain America is a high possibility.
Yeah.
I think they also might do something really freaky, like they might kill everybody, and then have one or two people survive, like Doctor Strange or something, who gets a hold of the time gem.
Yep.
And then in the second Infinity War, a year later, it's all about him going back through time and changing some events just enough to create a different outcome in the end, and basically, reverse those deaths. But still, even then, I think there'll still be one or two key characters that will die.
Yeah.
Although I just read that Chris Hemsworth wants to sign on for another bunch of movies, so I don't think it'll be fun.
Because I read something too today about Thor and how Ragnarok did so great. Like, I mean, it really did. It did great in the movies, and he told him, he's like, because everybody's contracts are done. They finished with
all the initial ones.
Yeah, they finished with the Infinity War stuff, filming this, and basically everyone's contracts just expired. So that's got to make you think that, holy shit, a lot of people are going to get written off and die, and then the people they want to bring back, will get a new contract.
Unless they follow the comics, where everybody gets a good chunk of the Marvel Universe gets killed and then brought back. Yeah, I mean, we all look. What I listen. After reading Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, like, turn that into a fucking movie, because that would be insane. I mean, have you read that?
No, I actually have only read parts of that. I love Deadpool, but I've never been a big follower of his comic. I'm not sure, why that is, because it's funny, and the few times I picked it up. Yeah. I think a lot of times I choose comics based on, first and foremost, if I like the artist, and I enjoy the art, and then the story. And if there are those exceptions, like that when you get both, it's nirvana. But at the same time, like the Dark Knight and stuff like that, then you just it's perfect.
Yeah.
But usually I just go for the artist first. So if I don't like the artist, I don't buy the book usually.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of art, I mean, that is what you do. So we're gonna have a lot of art questions. We're gonna have questions about The Walking Dead.
Let's bring it on.
Let's do it. I want to kick it off because everyone out there watching and listening right now, Kirk has some art that he would like to have you guys participate and win in.
Yeah.
So you need to pay attention, because there's a few ways you can win. All right. So there's a combination piece, which is going to be the grand prize. And then he has 3 other pieces. So we're going to do the grand prize and the first 2 pieces, and the grand prize and the other 2 pieces, by having you guys listen for us to say a word. All right. And when you hear that word, we're going to have you guys, whoever responds, it's going to be in a first, second, third basis. All right. But we're not doing all 3 at once. So when you hear us say woot, and whoever answers the first person that pops up is going to be a winner.
Acknowledging the woot.
Yeah. Acknowledging that. All right.
How do they acknowledge it?
They're gonna type it in.
They type woot.
They type it in. They type in that they heard it. They go, they type in woot.
I heard woot.
So we're going to do it again, and the first person again wins a piece. We're going to do it again, and then that'll be the grand prize one. So that'll be the package deal that he has. There's also a fourth piece that you guys can win, and the way you win that is by guessing his Kirk's birthday. Now, your birthday's tomorrow, right?
Oh, no, yeah, just guessing my age.
Guessing your age, sorry.
Tomorrow.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. So guessing his age, and his birthday's tomorrow. So if you guys can guess his age correctly, the first person to you guys are so ridiculous. You know, I'm trying to explain this. This isn't how you win. This is how I kick you out of the fucking chat.
And of course, Thomas is being a smartass.
Yeah, Thomas is being Thomas. Thomas, the next time I see you, I'm giving you such a fucking good game across your ass. You have no idea, bro. It's going to be painful, like the ones I give you. Not like a, hey, nice to see you. It's going to be like, get the fuck out of my way. Right. So, who the... Hold on, you need to go look up how to write woot.
Oh, and Oscar said you're 86 years old.
Oh, God.
He gave it away.
96?
96? He's going to keep going up. Terry, let me tell you something, Terry. You can go bite me, all right? You can just bite me, period. You run your mouth like someone who has diarrhea flowing out of it and can't stop.
All right. Here's the season 7, episode 1.
Yes.
And season 7, episode 16. So
yes.
The 2 bookends to the season. That's the grand prize. Winner gets that.
Right. So that'll be for the first time. That'll be for the third time you hear the W word.
That's right. And then the other 2 times, someone will get either Days Gone By or Some Guy.
I love the Days Gone By one. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then if you guess my age correctly, it's an original marker sketch of a zombie.
Okay. So there you have it. You've seen the pieces that you could possibly win. No, don't even entertain them. Don't entertain them. Don't even entertain them. That's it. On with the show.
I'm actually glad I can't see these now.
Yeah, you are. Believe me, you're definitely happy. You can't see them. It's the whole chat room is just like a rambling of just rambling shit. Especially with Terry, she rambles the most shit. So let's get back to now. We got done with all the whole thing. Yeah.
You got a question, right?
Yeah, we have some questions for you. So first question that I have for you is going to be from Jeannie, Jeannie and Nick. They want to know, who is your favorite The Walking Dead character to draw?
What's up, Jeannie? What's up, Dick? Nick, right? Sorry.
Nick, yeah.
Sorry about that, Dick.
What did I just miss? I'm trying to get questions. What the fuck did I just
Names
miss?
are not my forte.
Nick. With an N. Nick.
Nick. Nick's not the secret word, is it?
No.
Nick. Okay. My favorite character to draw. Well, probably Michonne. She's my favorite character in general on the show, and I tend to enjoy drawing the characters that I like the most too. So Rick's good too, though. He actually has a very he has a really kind of like a Clint Eastwoody kind of cowboy thing going on a lot of the times, and that's fun to draw. So, but Michonne hands down, between the hair. Although Ezekiel, for the same, he's just. I always, enjoy like drawing his outfits. He's always got that cool coat with all the buttons, and so I've gotten a kick out of kind of treating that like a cape in a lot of the stuff that I do. Right. He's badass with the dreadlocks and everything. So, but I'd say those 3 characters are my favorite to draw. And my favorite character, personally, of the show is Michonne, by far.
It's official. I'm 50% more into you right now.
Only 50? The fuck?
that thing where you told me you were married.
580. Come on.
You told me you were married at the beginning of the show. Well, now I'm 50% more into you. That's awesome. No, because Michonne's definitely one of my favorites. To this day, one of my favorite scenes from the show itself is her entrance into the show when she arrives in that comic book style, shadowy, dark figure, caped, the two walkers behind her with the chains and the sword down, down by the side. Just pure comic book, loved it, and that image always is one of my favorite. So
yeah, there's I love that one too, and I also love when she comes to the, I think it's when she leaves the governor's place and comes to the prison, and she's covered in all the goo, all the zombie guts, and she comes to and I think it's Rick and her, right? He meets her at the gate or something.
Yes.
And all these zombies are standing around her, and I think she has the two zombies with her.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that when she goes to the when they first catch her with the governor? But she turns around and chops off their heads. Like they say, basically, you can't come in here because you got those. And she just turns and fucking chops their heads off. Like, I don't care. Fine, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's just, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, it definitely...
They serve their purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got another one from Jeannie and Nick. Can you hear us?
I'm not gonna try and say their names again.
Oh, okay. Jeannie, just let you know. There's another one from Jeannie and Nick with an N.
Nick.
Did anyone inspire you to draw? Or was it just something you just realized you had a talent in school, or?
Like if you go way back, I guess probably my my brother's also very creative. He's about 7 years older than me. He's a photojournalist now, and but when he was kind of figuring out what he wanted to do creatively, he was into music, he was into art, and he used to draw a lot of stuff. And I always wanted to be just like my big brother, so I would draw a lot of stuff. And then he got out of it, and he was also into comics, and I started reading the comics as well. But when he got out of it, I just kept reading the comics, and that's my real inspiration, has been my love affair for all my life with comics, with the illustrations in comics, the heroes and the characters, and the stories and everything else. So that was really the main motivator for me to keep drawing, because I wanted to emulate that craft. I wanted to I'm one of those people that I haven't done in comics what I'd love to do.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been as successful or as accomplished in comics as I wish I had been, and there's lots of probable reasons for that. But the drive has never left, and I kind of knew from probably 7-8 years old that's what I wanted to do, which is, a lot of people don't figure out what they want to do until much later in life. And I went off in different directions, did advertising for a long time, worked in retail advertising. And so, I kind of got side-swiped by life a little bit, in terms of needing to pay bills and
right.
Provide and everything else. But since I was small, I've always wanted to draw.
Okay. That's awesome. I mean, hey, what was was Batman your first character? I mean, was that where you went?
To be honest with you, I don't know where the infatuation with Batman came. I've always been a Marvel comic guy. I liked Batman, but I just was never a big DC comic guy. I just didn't. I related so much more to the Marvel style of storytelling, and the fact that their heroes were flawed and challenged and going through all sorts of personal issues at the same time that they're trying to be superheroes. I found that so much more interesting than the DC comic characters, which tended to be much more stoic, traditional, iconic. And but I think, as I got older, that iconicness kind of is cool graphically,
Right.
I'll sit here and tell you I love Marvel Comics. Marvel's pretty much all I read, but all my comic book paraphernalia is all DC. It's Superman shirts, Batman sweatshirts, Batman hats, stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but I don't know if that answers the question or not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, what?
Tiff.
What about Tiff?
Read the fucking question,
Tiff.
dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with everybody.
Well,
Tiffany, by the way, has been doing this series of photographs that are
hysterical.
museum quality and ready for framing. They are amazing and hilarious, and just if you get a chance, don't miss them. Gotta follow her on Twitter though, guys.
Yes, we were trying to work out something with Tiffany where we can have a segment in the show or do something where we can display her, take pictures of it and display like slides, because she does. I was telling her the other day, I know that I personally hadn't seen anybody else doing it, and she told me that there's other pages that do it, and I get, I'm sure they do, but like you said, the way that she does it is so claymation-ish, like older style,
It's
know.
Like robot,
yes,
Robot Chicken.
like Robot Chicken, exactly, and that's what makes it so funny to me. I told her. She's been doing it very quickly, like in response. Someone will say something, and then all of a sudden she'll respond to that with an image. Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's awesome.
She's been doing great. So.
All right, so we got a question from Tiff. She wants to know, how long does it take you to draw a piece on average?
It depends on the piece. It depends on how many characters are in it. The tributes the traditional episode recap tributes, like Some Guy or Days Gone By, they don't take me as long because there's one or two main characters, maybe some a couple of scenes or whatever. So it might take me a day to draw it, a couple days to color it, but. If, for instance, the show posters I do, like the New Jersey one I just did, which has got, 25 characters in it, where I've got to try and get all their likenesses accurate, those take time. They can take me anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to do. With the drawing being actually the fastest, part of it.
Right.
I have to do a lot of research first to kind of get a lot of photo reference. The drawing, I can usually do within a couple of hours. But then the scanning it in, inking it, coloring it digitally, that's days of work.
Oh, man. That's, see, I don't have patience for all that stuff. I don't got patience for all that stuff. I don't know. I would sit there, I would literally just sit there and just scratch my head and be like, woot! See how I did that? Let's see.
That was slick.
Let's see who's number. Let's see who's number one. Well, this will be number 3.
Renee. Renee got it.
Renee got it. We got a winner. Renee. Well, we got 2 Renees, but Renee answered first over here on Instagram. Renee over here on YouTube. I'm sorry. All right, so Renee won. Which one is it? Is it the Ezekiel?
Should we give her a choice? Should it be a choice? Let her choose.
Sure, Renee, you can choose between
some guy
with Shiva and Ezekiel,
or Days Gone By.
Or Days Gone By with the original zombie little girl Walker, the one that Rick shot. So Renee,
wait, is that the same Renee or
that's a different Renee?
Is it really?
Yeah, right. Is that Renee? Wait,
You sure you guys have done this before?
Yeah, unfortunately.
But there's two. Wait, is the Renee? Are you wait? Renee Hansen on YouTube. Are you watching on Instagram as well?
Oh,
These guys need some.
No, okay.
You need to.
No, because there's two Renees, and that's where. So Renee on Instagram responded first. So Renee wins the. So Renee gets to choose which one she would like. And we'll just wait. Renee on Instagram, let us know which one you'd like. We'll get to the next question while she answers.
what up, Megs?
What up, Mags? All right, this one is from Michelle. Whole lot of crazy on Twitter. Yeah.
What's up, Craig?
It says, what was the first character you drew as a zombie for Walker Stalker tribute art?
Well, I don't know if it was the first zombie I ever drew, but Thomas has been in every single Walker Stalker as a zombie. Every Walker Stalker poster I've done as a zombie since damn near the first couple.
Yeah, I'm not even a fan of that idea anymore. I think you need somebody who brings a little bit more personality, someone who brings a little bit more muscle to the scene.
Ooh.
You know, just not some guy who walks around with a camera. You know,
What's wrong with the
I
camera?
mean, like Ryan.
What?
What's wrong with the camera?
Number one, I walked around with that camera more than you did.
I walked around with a click camera. You walked around with a
Right. And
the fucking voyeur peeper camera?
And who got more footage?
Oh, footage, because that's oddly specific.
Okay, I definitely got a lot more from the con than you did.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay, bring your pictures to the table and we'll see.
Okay.
Are you friends?
No, you know what? Because he thinks he can.
Yes, we are.
He tries to prove. No, we're not friends. He tries.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not friends.
Not clear.
Yeah. No. See, he gets all butthurt. You want me to beat you up on live TV again?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Not with Kirk here. I don't want to think him to think we're unprofessional. Okay. All right. Okay. There it is. Good boy. Don't do it.
Motherfucker.
It'll be a bad day. So, did we get to answer Michelle's question?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Thomas and nobody cares.
My first character zombie.
Yeah.
But I think she meant like guest people, like how I put sometimes people in it. That's been growing.
Right.
It wasn't initially, the first couple times I did the poster, I didn't put anybody extra in it. But it kind of became, I did one or two things, and then that was really popular, and so then I started doing more of it. It's just kind of been a cool way to involve more people into the event, and kind of say thanks to supporters and fans and fellow artists and stuff like that. So I try now to put in at least one artist that's exhibiting, and then somebody the show staff, because the Walker Stalker cons are really unique. I've done a lot of comic book conventions in my time, and I tell this to the staff all the time, and James and everybody, that there's just nothing like the Walker Stalker cons. The way that they support their exhibitors, and the way they flood the place with volunteers, and they just really, it's very positive, fun, almost a family-like experience. So big props to James Frazier and to Robin Justice, who I work with there in terms of getting booth space, and Michael Guth. I never can pronounce his name. My apologies.
That's all right.
But they're just all great people, and they just really they go out of their way to make it work well, and so I've tried to reciprocate by including people in my posters, because everybody gets a kick out of that,
Yeah, it is cool. We saw Jessica NY, she's known as, I believe, on Twitter, and you put her, I think, right next to Cooper Andrews on the one for Jersey. So that was pretty cool, because it was fun to see somebody that we actually know and interact with on there. All
hail the Queen Jessica.
Yes. Question from Suzy Q. Well, that's what we call her. Do you draw for...
Is this Suzy Grant?
Yes.
Is this Suzy Grant?
It is.
Yeah, I call her Suzy Q too.
Yeah. Do you draw for what? Symbolism?
Yeah.
Or does it come from
Does it come naturally?
No, does it come naturally? Your handwriting is terrible.
I mean, what does she mean by symbolism?
Well, it's Suzy, so God fucking knows, right? I mean...
Oh, jeez.
Oh, by the way, you guys
you can joke if you want, but Suzy is
incredibly
talented in terms of artistic analysis, and she's just helped me see things in my own work that I never saw before.
Suzy's great.
She's just very insightful and has a great historical sense for art, and helped me a lot in terms of seeing how I construct things. And because in art, a lot of times you're doing things subjectively, you don't even realize that are happening. And something she pointed out with my work that I've always found I got a real kick out of is that I tend to compositionally create a lot of triangles in my work.
Okay.
And it helps drive the eye around the page, and it wasn't even something I was conscious of initially.
Right.
Now that she's talked to me about it, and we've talked about it together many times, now I consciously think a lot more about my compositions in terms of that, and that I think has helped my work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's off to Suzy. She's helped me a lot, and I really appreciate her support. On that front, So, symbolism? I'm not quite sure what she means by that, but
maybe just the symbolism of the character, or maybe I don't, maybe what just
symbolism versus what?
Or does it come naturally? Do you just draw it? I guess naturally, whatever you maybe see or your mind, maybe, or however you picture it.
Well, in terms of the episodes, I definitely tried to be faithful to what happened in the show. So if there, because it's key to for the tribute for that episode to be accurate, it's got to represent what took place in the show. It might be symbolic, like there's one, probably the one that started or kicked off something very symbolic for me in terms of adding. Sorry, let me restate that. Something that a tribute that I did that kind of initiated the first symbolism in my work that I was conscious of was Coda, and up until that I've been very literal. This was an event. Here's how it looked. Here's the person that was in it. Here's how they looked. But then Coda was the death of Beth, and there's a scene where Daryl's carrying her out, and she's dead or whatever in his arms, and I illustrated that in the center, and then put wings coming up off of his back, full-size angel-like wings. And before that, I had never done anything like that, which was very, very symbolic. Obviously, yes, he has wings on his back, but just this kind of symbolism of him being kind of her archangel type of thing. And since then, I've started to do more of that kind of stuff, like even in this Sun Guy, by putting the crown in the middle of the piece underneath Ezekiel, kind of, again, using some symbolism of, the whole struggle with him about being seen as the king and not just being a regular guy, and it's also, it's right underneath the picture of him, which is starting out in that episode where he's prepping himself and kind of getting dressed in the morning, and it's clear he's just another guy, just like anybody else, but he puts on this whole outfit.
All right, so we're getting some questions about your art. Yeah, no, it's good though. I mean, look, Suzy's come to our rescue before. I mean, we was basically just a podcast with me and him one night, and we were throwing it out there for people to call. And we really wanted, we asked her to, and she was like, no. And we finally got her to call in just because of her background in writing for Undead Walking and everything, and all her articles that, she shared, so that way we could, go back and read them. I mean, Suzy's, a talent of her own,
Yep.
Thomas,
I agree completely.
Thomas wants to know, are you younger or older than Stan Lee? And he's also saying you need to work more with parallelograms.
Fuck Thomas.
Tiffany wants to know how much cat artwork do you do?
Fucking zero.
And also...
Wait a minute, that's not true. Hold on.
Adam Carlson's here. Yeah, there's the one cat. That's it. Yeah.
I don't know why cats. It's become now a joke, but
yeah.
I just never cats, and I'm sure Gage is probably disconnected and discursing. But I don't know. I've always been a dog guy. You know.
I don't blame you one bit. Don't worry about it. Penny wants to know. She's from. By the way, she's from. She has like her own page she does and stuff like that. It's called Infected Dissected, right? Mm-hmm. Infected Dissected. She wants to know if she can buy. Do you have any of her stuff on? I think it's Etsy. On Etsy.
I don't. If you go to my studiokm.com, I have a store there that you can click on, and there's actually I've got a sale going on right now, which is I did just for Black Friday, but I started it again for the new year for January for 2018, which is you buy 2 prints and you can get 2 prints free. So for the price of 2, you get 4. And there's a link there to my DeviantArt gallery where whenever I've got a new piece up, it goes up in that gallery so you can see everything. It's all labeled by episode and season, and you can just fill in which ones you want, and payment is through PayPal. It's all pretty self-explanatory at the site. I don't have a store per se.
Okay.
And if there's anything else, in particular that you want that's not accessible that way, or if you're looking for a private commission or a sketch or something like that, then you just email me or DM me on Twitter.
All right. Well, yeah, Penny, if you look above a few comments, you'll see it's studiokm.com. So if anybody wants to go and check out his super sale he's got going on right now, and if you say that, you saw him on Beastmode, Deadcast Live, maybe he'll, I don't know, probably charge you more. But anyway, Suzy Q also wants to know,
dude, what guys, what's the name? What's the deal with your name? I don't get the name. What is that? Does it stand for something or?
Yeah, well, all right. So Beastmode, the Beast itself stands for Big East Alliance Zombie Team. So, because when we first started doing this, we were really into like survival shit. Like, I've been doing this for over 2 years. Ryan's been here for over a year. Yep. When I initially first came out with it, it was more survival-based stuff. Like, going on, we would talk about The Walking Dead, but then we'd also include, like, a lot of survival stuff. We even got
dig holes, like that.
Yeah, I mean, build a Faraday cage, all that shit, in case you ever got hit with an EMP, like whatever. So it stands for Big East Alliance Zombie Team. And once we started with the T-shirts and we started, getting the T-shirts out there, we always said we were building our alliance. Like everyone who got a shirt, you're now part of the, you're now part of the Beast Mode family. But once the podcast started picking up so much because of The Walking Dead and us and everything like that, and people say they like us and shit, so that always helped. And then when Ryan came on board over a year ago now, like a year and a half, is when we started doing like our first live podcast with Peter Zimmerman. And ever since we started to do the live stuff, I mean, we have our technical issues every now and then or whatever, but people love them because we get to be that bridge between the fans and the actors from the show, the fans and, the people who are your fans. You get to sit here and do this with you.
We build bonds.
We build bonds, okay? That's what we do. We build bonds.
Yes.
So the Beast Mode thing stuck, and now, we've talked about this on previous podcasts, is like now, after being at Jersey, we realized that, people want to know what we are because it's just Beast Mode. There's no tie-in with The Walking Dead.
Right.
So now we're diving into more marketing stuff and collaborating with and playing with wordplay and doing basically the BMNY, Deadcast Live, and then hashtagging like, The Walking Dead family, stuff like that,
Gotcha.
And, so I mean, yeah, that's basically a quick thing on our background. So
basically with your survivalist background, like when Trump hits that button on his desk and starts going at it with North Korea, I want to make it to your place, right? That's where I want to bring family.
So, if you want to live, you're gonna come with me. It'd be like Arnold. If you want to survive, you come with me.
Come with me.
Come with me now. Get to the fucking chopper. So, there you go.
You got a chop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the roof.
Yeah, it's on the roof, bro. Parked.
Excellent.
Renee.
Dawn of the Dead.
Huh?
Like Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I wish. So Renee said, what made you decide to use the format you do?
That's a good question.
She's getting busy.
If I recall, I started these. I had a podcast initially as well, and I was doing comic book stuff more and more work in that. I have a character called Z-Girl and the Four Tigers, which I was doing at the time, and I wasn't doing anything like this that I do, like the stuff I do now, and got into The Walking Dead, and the guy that wrote Z-Girl had a bunch of podcasts, and he wanted to start a podcast about The Walking Dead and asked me to be a part of it. So we were doing that together. And the shows, just as we watched it and analyzed them and everything else, it just started to not be enough for me to just talk about them. That I was so into it and so affected by the episodes and the characters and the story that I wanted to express it creatively and artistically. So I started doing these kind of episode recap images, and posters seemed like the quickest, easiest way to do that, and the best way to do that. I couldn't, plus I wanted to do something that was kind of unique to me, and there was a lot of fan art that was out there, but it all seemed to be based around doing portraits of particular characters. And then there was comic books, obviously, with the comic book itself, and then people doing fan fiction type stuff and everything else. But there wasn't really anybody encapsulating or tributing the individual episode. So that's kind of the logic that motivated it. And then the format was just, the poster format seemed like a really easy way to kind of do that for me. And so that's kind of how the structure came about. Mm-hmm. When I did a couple and I started posting them, it was just like bananas. People just went off. They just loved it. And I just seemed to hit on something that was missing in the fan art world. Like I said, most fan art was more generalized and portrait centered, and maybe a highlight of the full season where they'll have some of the villains and the heroes and a couple of the events, but it's basically a whole season kind of recap. Nobody was doing individual episodes. And then I used to listen to a podcast, Walking Deadcast, which I still listen to as well, from Jason and Karen do it. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the Walking Deadcast, and it was a great, at the time, it was one of the top, I don't know, it may still be one of the top Walking Dead podcasts, and started interacting a lot with them on their boards and having them see the pieces and everything. And Jason was very involved with the Walker Stalkers when it started to take off. And he was kind of like, you got to get involved in this Walker Stalker stuff. So, and then once I did one of the shows, people again just really responded on a level that I didn't anticipate to the idea of doing episode specific treatments. So that's kind of how it started and what reinforced continuing to do it.
Okay, very good. Nice answer. What? What's up? Oh. Let me see. Linda. Sorry. This is Lisa. Do you come up with the concept for your tribute art while you watch the episode, or do you think about it after?
Yeah, that's a good question too. It depends. Sometimes when I watch an episode, there will be standout things or things that affect me, and I'll be like, I'll see it right in my head right away. You know, this is what's got to be the focus of the episode or the tribute, and I'll kind of start seeing it right away. Other times I do have to think about it. Sometimes, if an episode doesn't particularly inspire me, I'll have to think about it. Sometimes I'll have to do research and start finding images from the episode to, kind of stimulate some ideas and start playing around with things. A lot of times I'll then dig into other things that I find inspirational. Comic book covers, comic book images, online stuff, other people's posters, ideas that, fan art, things like that, and see what other people are doing that inspires me, and then see if I can apply some of that to some of the ideas and imageries that were in that episode. So sometimes it can be right away. Other times I have to work at it.
Okay. Good answer. Question from Linda.
Am I getting graded on any of this?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get graded anywhere from an A+ to woot.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I'm pretty smart when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, pretty good. I have to give you credit. So you give me props there.
Linda.
Well, it's not woot. Just saying. Well, yeah. What do we got? Who just popped up over there?
Renee Hansen, the other Renee.
Oh no, but Linda did answer. Oh, Linda did answer.
That's what I said.
Linda from France, Linda?
Yeah, you're paying some shipping, my boy.
That's all right. That's my girl. I got no problem doing that. That's my girl.
So Renee, the first Renee, picked the Days Gone By. So Linda will get the Shiva and Ezekiel, right? Yes. Okay. Perfect. So Renee gets Days Gone By. Linda gets the Shiva.
You'll recap all that for me?
Yeah, I will, of course.
I've got it all written down, so don't worry.
Yeah, we keep notes, man.
We're professionals.
Nice.
What the fuck you think we are, man? Come on.
Yeah.
The fuck? We're not professional at all.
Another question from Linda. Oh wait, no, I didn't get to ask the first one. Were you a fan of the show or or comics? Wait. What?
Yes, were you a fan of the show or comics first?
Oh, okay. Well, it's gonna be comics.
Comics.
Yeah.
Comics first, hands down.
Okay.
Comics first. I've been following the comic since it began. Actually, what I started doing was buying the trades.
Dream.
Oh, Dream. You're good. Don't worry about us.
Okay. I started out doing the trades, and after about the first 2 or 3 trades, I was like, I can't wait 6 months in between. So I started buying the floppies again, and I worked out a deal with my comic shop, and when I get 6 issues together, I bring them in and trade them in on a trade, and he gives me a discount. I think, and then he sells those online. So,
okay.
So I get the floppies every month, and then I collect those up together and get the trade of it. So I was always into the comic first. There was just nothing else like the comic that was on. I've always been a zombie fan. I've always been a zombie apocalypse fan. The original Night of the Living Dead, the Dawn of the Dead when I was in high school, and so forth. Have always captured my imagination and fantasy. And so when Kirkman started that comic, it was just great because it was really the first one that ever. It was an original way to approach it. Everybody else kind of had the same idea. There was plenty of zombie comic books, but they were always the same thing: a group of people trapped in a location, trying to get out, trying to survive. Most of them get killed. It's kind of the story format, and this was really much more like, I don't want to say a soap opera, but more like an ongoing story of these survivors, and that happened to also, have this horrible zombie stuff going on around them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that he was, it was very original and well done. I loved the black and white. In the 80s, there was a big push on black and white comics, but then that kind of died. And not that I, would want to read everything in black and white, but I think there are certain things that are cool to read in black and white. And I think that they've done a really effective job of using black and white in a comic. And so that was cool. The characters were really cool. The relationships were really cool. And he ends every single book with a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Every single book ends with some sort of a cliffhanger, which was awesome. And then great characters that you love die constantly in that book. And it was heart-wrenching, and it was aggravating, but it was believable. And it was what kept bringing you back. You know what I mean? I don't know if they've been as successful in doing that in the show,
Right.
For a number of reasons. But I think that the book did it well and continues to do it well. And sometimes again, spoilers for anybody who reads the comic, but the way that sometimes people are died just arbitrarily. Lots of people have trouble with that. To me, that's how. Sometimes there's heroic deaths, and sometimes there's just people who fall on a ladder and and die. You know what I mean? And Kirkman understands that, and he incorporates that into his storytelling, and I like that. And you never know when it's coming. You just never know when it's coming. I wish the show would have done a better job of that, or do a better job at it. How many times have we been like, oh my God, who's going to die? This is definitely going to die. And then nobody does.
Yeah.
And then when they do die, you kind of see it coming. You know what I mean? They build up so much to it that you just anticipate it. Whereas in the comic, like when Abraham takes his arrow in his eye in the comic, it's like you had just lost somebody big prior to that and just never assumed anything like that and they were just walking down a street talking, and then boom, he's like this main guy. Yeah. You're just like, what the heck just happened? You know what I mean? And so I love that aspect of the book. You never knew what was coming.
Right.
I still do.
I was happier with his ending in the show. I think if they would have just took him out with an arrow through the eye, it wouldn't have been big enough.
It wouldn't be as satisfying
for Abe. But I did like it in the comic book. Like you said, I just I was happier that they changed that up a little bit and actually let him
get a meaningful
get more of a meaningful beat down. And just an arrow.
I didn't have a problem with that either.
Yeah.
But I think that then I would have preferred they'd done something like not have Glenn die right there.
Right. Yeah. Well, Glenn had already escaped death way too many times, so if he didn't,
then an episode later, have him die some crazy unexpected way. When you think it's all over.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
I think if they wouldn't have bashed his brains in, though, people would have been pissed. Just like this whole Chandler thing dying. Everybody up in fucking arms like you wouldn't believe.
Well, since you brought it up, let's talk about that. Cause
make it quick, Kirk, because I've had it up to here.
I have a strong opinion about that.
Okay, go ahead.
I just think, I don't know which camp you're in, but I'm in the camp where I think it's totally freaking awesome that he dies. I have no issues with it. I don't know if that's where you guys are or not.
I have no issues with it either. I'm happy. In my eyes, his story arc has been so dead.
Right.
He's been.
Is that a pun?
Yeah. His story arc is just dead. Like he's dead. Haha. I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah, I feel like this in the comic, it's really you in the comic you think of it as it's the story of Rick and his son,
mm-hmm.
and their survival in this world, because his wife dies when the governor takes over the prison, and his infant daughter dies, or Shane's dies in that incident as well. So it kind of becomes that. But so in the show, everybody freaked out when he's going to die in the show, because they're like, oh, that totally changes from the book. It's really the story of Rick and Carl and his son. And I'm like, no, because in the comic, the daughter died, so Rick had only one child left. But the daughter didn't die in the show.
Exactly.
So he has two children.
Yep.
So as soon as she didn't die in the prison break in season 4, we should have probably realized that Carl's time was limited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
it's like, because really it's the story of Rick and his child and being a father.
Right.
That doesn't preclude meaning it has to be his son. It could be his daughter, and that's the way it seems that the show is going. So
yeah,
and allowed the show to create a twist that's different from the comic, but yet keep the story in sync with the comic, and loyal to the comic. Maybe in sync isn't the word, but loyal to the storyline of the comic. And I love that. I thought it was great. I also, no disrespect to don't hate me for this, but I'm not a huge fan of Chandler Riggs' acting. I think he's okay, but in the comic, that Carl's becomes, he's becoming like the badass.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like they probably felt confident about putting that much weight on his shoulders as an actor at this point in his career. 1 and 2. I think that the other thing is by taking him out and the daughter be kind of the child who she's still got a lot of years to grow. It allows them to keep the structure of the show and the casting of the show consistent now, which has been popular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Where to start shaking up and having this new leadership kind of happening, it's too early for them. They don't want to rock the boat from a financial point of view, I don't think.
Yeah.
So when you take all that into consideration, I don't think it was a bad decision. I don't like the way he went out. I think getting bit like that was kind of lame, but that's what happens. So kind of like what I was saying earlier in the comic. So you got some people that go out in a bang, and then sometimes people trip on a ladder. And that's how they go up. So.
Yeah, or you get shamed.
Die of tetanus.
Or you get shamed in the knee. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
So CJ, one of the saviors, wants to. This is something you probably want to talk to him about on the side. Maybe exchange phone numbers somehow, or we can put you guys in contact with each other if you're not already. But CJ wants to know, how much do you charge for commission pieces? So I'm thinking he might be requesting a piece of him, maybe.
Sure. Sure.
So what we'll
go ahead. Just hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up with if I don't follow you, send me a message or tweet me, and I'll follow you, and we'll follow each other, and then you can DM me, and I'll give you all. We'll work out. We'll make it happen, man.
Yeah.
No problem.
So CJ, there you go, CJ. There's your. We'll give you. You can slide on into Kurt's DMs. It's nice and easy. Slide in. Colleen wants to know, do you... Colleen wants to know, do you personalize your art?
Personalize it as in, I certainly sign it and put, my personalized information on it. I'm not sure what personalized, you mean, like put in things that are personal to me.
No,
like
do you do personalized art?
Oh, sorry. Do you do personalized art? My bad.
Yeah, sure, I do any kind of art. Personalized, I assume they mean like a portrait or something.
Yeah. I imagine could
Sure.
be. Yeah, I could imagine you could pretty much do anything for. You could probably draw, like somebody was like, "Hey, I want to get a tattoo. Could you sketch it for me?" You'd be like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah. I had a guy. The funniest tattoo story was, again, like I said earlier, I had a comic book Z-Girl and the Four Tigers. I still have it. I just haven't done any issues in a long time. But we used to exhibit at New York Comic Con, and there was a guy who was really into the character, and Z-Girl is a female zombie warrior, and he just really loved the character, and he asked me to create a portrait of her that he then had tattooed onto his forearm. And he posted it online after he got it done, and then the next year he came and showed me. And so there's this, this really cool guy running around New York City who has my artwork tattooed on his arm, and I've never had anything like that happen before, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
so yeah.
Colleen wants to know. She goes, if she can send you. Oh, sorry about that.
I can't do Ted.
Oh no, yeah, we wouldn't expect you to do that.
Let me get a marker, a magic marker. I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. What's that fake tattoo shit called when they draw?
Henna.
Yeah, you can henna you to death.
Yeah.
Colleen said, she says if she were to send you a pic, could you zombify her?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was I did that recently for a Twitter follower up in Boston, and yeah, absolutely. Send me a photo, and I did a rendering of them as a zombie. Absolutely.
Okay, nice. Here's a good question. Was this Renee Hansen who asked this?
Renee from Instagram.
Oh, Renee from Instagram? All right, so Renee wants to know, when is Kirk going to put Beastmode NY in a piece? And I mean, it's right here, man. It's an actual question. I didn't even make this shit up.
Well, what's the next con you're going to?
Chicago.
All right.
Are you gonna be there?
I'm gonna be in Chicago.
All right. So
my schedule just for people if they're interested is right now it's going to be the Chicago show. I think that's in April.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then May is Nashville, and I'll be at that. And then I believe June, July, and August there's no Walker Stalkers through the summer, and then I believe is there September? I know October there'll be Atlanta, and they just added Orlando.
okay.
That might be in September. And then New Jersey again, of course, at the end of the year.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll be in Chicago. So here's a story I got to give you real quick for Jersey, right? And I'm going to try to do this again in Chicago. Okay, and it pertains to my little friend over here.
Oh, fuck me.
So when we went to Jersey, all right, I told Ryan that if he could take a Beast Mode t-shirt, all right, what was it? And it was exchange it for a pair of thong panties that, I would buy him his food for the whole weekend. Okay? And he failed. He failed to get a pair of thong panties from someone for a shirt, and I still bought him all his fucking food all weekend anyway. So now this time in Chicago, I'm going to make sure that this fucker right here ends up taking a shirt and getting a pair of panties for him, and then he's going to buy me fucking food all weekend. There's a quick little inside thing we had going on for Jersey that I figure I'd fill you in on.
Ryan, just go to Victoria's Secrets.
No. I'll pat his ass down. And
speaking of Kirk, I got a question from a mutual friend of ours, Oscar.
I don't wear thongs, so I can help you.
Not what the question was, but okay.
I haven't for a long time.
Thomas, shh! Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Apparently, Thomas gave me a thong. I don't know. Was it on Friday? I don't know.
Dude, if Thomas gave you a thong,
yeah,
you should probably chop a hand off.
Probably. I should just dip this in battery acid.
Yeah.
Oscar wants to know if you've patted his ass.
No, you should put that shit.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Oscar's been asking a lot. What is it?
He wants to know if you've patted his ass.
Superman.
He wants to know if you've patted or pinched or grabbed his ass.
Superman's ass?
Yeah. He wants to know if you've done that.
Tape and you don't tug on his ass.
Oh, okay. All right.
You don't tug on his ass.
You don't-
That's a good life lesson right there.
Yeah, don't tug on his ass. Don't tug him up Huda.
Don't tug Superman's ass.
Adam wants to know, is there a character from The Walking Dead that you find more difficult to recreate?
There's a couple I struggle with. And it's because mainly Daryl, and I just have a piece I'm working on now where I struggled with it, and I've had it happen in the past before, and I hit his likeness sometimes. Other times I can't. You think, for instance, it's funny how it works out. Like for instance, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, when I started working on him for the first time, I was like, oh, he's going to be so hard. He's going to be so hard. And for some reason, I find it easy to get his likeness. But Daryl, I think it's because the hair is always in his face. Sometimes he's beat up, other times he's not. His eyes are always like really, really thin slits, and there's just a lot going on in his face that you have to get right, or else it doesn't look like him. And I definitely struggle with him. Another one too is Tara. Sometimes I get her like that, and other times I just think I have a lot of trouble getting her to look like Tara. Michonne is easy. Like I said, Negan has been easy. Father Gabriel has been easy. There are certain characters that just, and probably because they have some iconic elements to them, like Ezekiel with his outfits and his beard and his dreadlocks, Michonne with her dreadlocks and her band and the swords, and she has some distinctive features on her face that just make it easier to kind of to hit that more consistently. Daryl's been tough. Tara's been tough. Sometimes Carol. I struggle with Carol sometimes. Okay. There's just certain people. I'm not sure exactly why.
I mean, listen, when you're talking about Carol, she just, I don't know. I mean, is it like her? Is it capturing like a certain look or anything like that, or?
I think because she I don't know why exactly, but I'm going to guess partly because of her age, and she had if you're not careful, she can look too young, and if you overdo the lines and trying to accentuate the features that kind of show her being more mature, it makes her look way too old. So it becomes a real balancing act in terms of what you emphasize in terms of shadows and lines and creases and stuff like that. Her hair, like her hair tends to be more salt and pepper, but when I do it, it's always really white. Okay. And I tend to go towards the white because when I try and make it more salt and pepper, it doesn't look like her. It looks younger.
Right.
So it's just something that I struggle with her.
Okay. I mean, we'll make sure that Melissa McBride doesn't find out, because if she does, she'll probably be like, that Wooten son of a bitch.
I met her once. I met her in Chicago. And did you just do it again?
See? You got it. Yes. That Wooten son of a bitch. Oh God.
So does that count?
No.
Oh.
What?
Wait, does that count? Was there a third one we were giving out?
Yeah, there's a third one. Why?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Yeah, the third one.
Did we get one?
Oh, Suzy Q got it.
Suzy Q. Suzy Q got it. There it is. Suzy Q. Yep. Ooh, Aaron was close. Gay was close. Tiffany was close.
Do you think we should announce who got Kirk's age, though?
Yeah, well, we're gonna announce who got Kirk's age as well.
Yes, Jim.
Yeah, no, we do. We got
have
that
it written down.
We got that so early.
Okay.
We got it early.
All right.
The winner of the zombie sketch that Kirk did is Margie. Where are you, Margie? You won.
She was still here.
Margie, you won. You guessed 55 years old. That is how old our man will be tomorrow.
Woot, Michelle? What the fuck?
Huh?
She said we missed her woot.
Where? I'm looking. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that because everyone was typing so quickly.
Oh, no.
Awkward.
That's all right.
We have a dilemma. It's true. I mean, we said it in the... Huh?
You can divide them up. You send one to each.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Susie and Michelle, I guess I'll have to call it a tie because the fucking chat board blew up, and Michelle's probably cursing him out right now.
Well, she was, but
yeah, I'm sure she was just cursing him out, so that's always good. Pookie gets beat up a lot on the show.
Yes, I do.
So we'll
Pookie?
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh,
can I have the sheets, please?
So yeah, he's known as Pookie Bear. Pookie Bear, right? Pookie
wasn't my thing. Sorry.
That's another long story. We'll get into another time. Don't worry about it.
I think I don't want to hear.
It's okay. So we got.
Get both of their information.
I will,
and we'll take care of them.
Yeah, we'll
hook up.
We'll work that out.
Nobody disappointed.
No.
No, I wanted to say, even though I struggle with Melissa McBride, I wanted to say that I got to meet her once, and she was incredibly sweet, incredibly nice, and I also wanted to say she's incredibly classy.
Damn it, I'm sorry.
And the reason I say that is because I've had other actors who've liked my work and have sent people to come, get a copy or bring me over to bring a copy to them, and and they've complimented me and they've been very generous and wonderful, and if I bring pieces to them and everything else. But Melissa at a show saw, I think it was the Well piece,
okay,
which she's in, and someone had got it for me and had brought it to her to sign, and she really loved it, and she wanted copies of it, and she wanted copies of other pieces that I had of hers, and so she sent somebody over to purchase like a whole bunch of my work, and then bring it to her, and I just thought that was really very classy, you know what I mean? As opposed to, she couldn't get away to come over, with, obviously with her being in the position she's in and all the chaos that would have ensued. But there also wasn't kind of the expectation, not that I mind giving work to these guys that, they inspire me and it's wonderful that I get to draw them and give them copies of my work, and I love doing that. But I thought it was really classy to it was as if she was kind of saying, I recognize that what you do is work also, and that you're trying to make a living too doing this, and I like your work, and I wouldn't assume that because I like it, you're just going to give it to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really cool.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I mean, despite that, you can't give her like, hey, I have this piece of paper with your face on it. Sorry, she looks really old.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm busting his chops. Shut up. Back to questions. Adam says, how do you feel about the current trend of edit art compared to more traditional styles of creating pieces? I don't have any issues with it. I think it's great. I think all types of fan art are wonderful. Everything from shout out to soaps, making soap with artwork, and
sculptures and people doing T-shirts and edits are cool too. I don't have any issues with that. The only thing I think it's cooler when people take images offline and then really modify them, really transform them into something different, and really make it their own. Because and then I see that as being a little different than just taking pictures online and putting them together and calling it a day. There are people out there who are doing edits that are basically like very, very artistic.
Yep.
Really they look amazing. So I think it's cool. I think I support any fan art like that.
All right. We're gonna do a couple more and then we're gonna crack out of this because we've been at it for an hour and a half.
Yep.
I know we've all had long days.
Once I get going, I can talk forever.
Oh, I know. I hear you. I mean, it's probably 2-3 o'clock in the morning overseas. So they're hanging in there though. Linda wants to know, in the future, would you be interested in creating your own comics?
Yeah, I tried that venture first with Z Girl and Four Tigers, and we self-promoted it. We brought it to shows. We got it out online. We did a lot of stuff with it. We did 6 issues, and it was a blast. And I think I'm very proud of it. Up until that point, I had never done more than 1 issue of a book. So to do 6 issues and 25 to 30 pages an issue. That was an accomplishment for me that was a bar that I felt I never had hit before. So that was very rewarding. But no one picked it up. We pitched an image. We've sent copies to all sorts of publishers, and they just there wasn't an interest level in it. And in order to keep doing it, we were going to have to things like Kickstarter and start trying to fund it ourselves a little bit more aggressively. And it was just too costly. And for the time consumption, it just wasn't, there was return on it, so I had to kind of a different avenue to express myself and also make money. So
yeah, and money's important.
Yeah, but should an opportunity arise, if someone were to contact me after seeing my work or whatever and say, hey, I'd like to have you come do such and such a book for Image or such and such a book for Marvel, I would jump at that chance, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, man. And if you do, let me know, because I want to be like, hey.
You'll know, because
I know that guy.
Screaming from the
Rachel wants to know, who is the first cast member to acknowledge your fan art?
Oh, Josh McDermott. My first Walker Stalker show was New Jersey. At that time it was New York, New Jersey. They called it both.
Right.
I did the poster for that show, and then it was the first time I ever brought my tributes to a show. And he had, a lot of the cast was following my stuff online, because at that time, again, because I was doing the podcast, I would try to get it done before the next episode. So, people really, it was really timely at that point. So there was a lot of people like, oh, what's the new one going to be like, and everything else. And he just was really, really, really appreciative of my stuff. He was really positive online about it. And then at the New York show, I think it was on Saturday, he comes walking up this aisle with an entourage of people, and he starts coming right to my booth, and he's like got his hands up, and he's like, dude, I have been walking this show, the whole show, trying to find your booth. He's like, man, I love your stuff. I love your stuff so much. And we just chatted and shook hands and took pictures, and he picked up a bunch of prints, and I was just totally, shell-shocked and blown away. I was so flattered, and had never had that level of recognition from someone of that, that level of stardom. And so it was a moment that I will not soon forget. And props to Josh, because he was just such a sincere and sweet guy. At future cons, I went and saw him, and he was just as jovial, just as nice, just as friendly, just as warm. He got to meet my daughter loves him, and she met him at a couple shows, and he's just super cool, just super cool. So
that's awesome.
Props to him, and yeah, that was the first one. And there've been others. I mean, everybody's great. I've never had a bad experience with anybody. The only negative experience I've had with any actors or at any of the shows was at a show in Chicago. I won't say the actor name, but they weren't a Walking Dead star. They weren't a Walking Dead cast member. It was somebody from a different not a discipline, but a different genre, different stuff, different shows, and but they had I won't get into it, but it just wasn't as positive as all the Walking Dead people. All the Walking Dead people are incredibly warm, incredibly understanding, and sometimes I'm blown away. When in Boston just recently, this past year, Ruth was right next to who's the guy that plays Jerry?
Oh,
Cooper
Andrews.
Cooper. And I mean, and also King Ezekiel was right next to her as well. Yeah. And the two of them worked, Kari, they worked so hard. I mean, I was just so impressed. I mean, they had a smile for everybody. They had long lines, and they stayed after they were supposed to leave, both nights, until everybody got seen and everybody got, a chance to speak with them and shake their hand and meet them. And I tell you, I was very impressed, and they're all like that.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, and that's the experience we had too. I mean, we first time ever being at one and just meeting them. It was such a great, warm, welcoming experience. So, thankfully we didn't run into anybody. Yeah, everything was great.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, the cast members, all you guys, the artists, and everybody we met was just, phenomenal.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, they really are. They seem very sincere. They seem very appreciative of the fan support. In ways that other actors don't seem to register as much. But I've been always impressed.
Yeah. Question from Erin. She wants to know: do you prefer using ink or do you do more digital art?
Yeah, my process is that I'll sketch and then I'll do a tight pencil drawing traditionally on my board or my light box, and then I take that and scan it in to my computer, and I do all of the inking and coloring and type and effects digitally, and that's in Photoshop. Sometimes I'll do type in Illustrator and bring it over into Photoshop. I find it easier to work in type in Illustrator,
right.
but everything else is in Photoshop.
Okay.
I have done recently. I've been doing, like, I did that Daryl. There's a Daryl portrait I did, which for Boston they asked me to do a panel discussion. And the panel discussion, they wanted me to be drawing while they talked to me and asked me questions. So I created a sketch of Daryl, and then I inked it and colored it with marker while I was on the stage. And so I have started to do a little bit more of that. People like the original work. And at the shows now, I've been doing the smaller, kind of the size of the zombie sketch that we just awarded. I've been doing those in ink and Copic marker and stuff.
Okay.
So just to kind of.
Yeah. Was that it? I don't know if I cut you off or not. I couldn't tell.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
I think that I started out as a penciler.
Right.
In comic books, comic book art, it's kind of broken into certain tasks. There's a guy that letters, or at least this is the way it used to be. There's a guy that letters, there's a guy that draws, there's a guy that ink, and there's the people that color. And they were all different aspects of the job. And rarely did a penciler ink his own work. And never did a penciler also ink and color his work. That's become less the case. Now there's more and more artists that are doing the entire thing for their work because it's digital, and digital they can work much faster. But when I first started out, everything was, you when you would go to shows to show your stuff to publishers, they wanted to see, are you a penciler or are you an inker? If you're a penciler, I just want to see pencils. If you're an inker, then I don't want to see pencils. I just want to see your inks,
Right.
And so that's kind of the way I was brought up and trained. So I didn't do a lot of like original color work. And then when the digital came on board and I started working digitally, I started doing my own inking and then my own coloring, and which led to being able to do more everything for myself. But that's why I'm digital focused.
Okay, awesome, very nice. Tiffany wants to know heroes or villains. I don't know if she's asking you if you prefer heroes or villains,
or is she talking about Hero and Villain Fan Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's talking about the shows.
Okay, she might be. Well, do you prefer heroes or villains?
And real quick, not to interject here, but you, Mike, you.
Oh, okay. So that's
one of our coworkers is commenting.
That looks like you're doing that to me. So.
Why are you giving our guest a finger, you fucking asshole?
You.
That's
probably going to be a gift.
Well, let me answer both. I've done the heroes. I've done a couple of the hero shows. I'm actually doing one this year. In September, there's a Heroes and Villains Fan Fest in New Jersey. So I'll be doing that. And of course, the focus there, I'll always have my Walking Dead work with me, but the focus there is a lot more on my comic book and superhero art.
Yeah.
I enjoy both shows, but they're definitely different. The combo shows are cool, like Chicago, where they've mashed them up, and you get both audiences, and that's been a lot of fun. But the Heroes and Villains fans are different. They're definitely more superhero focused, but there's less of that family atmosphere. When you're a Walker Stalker show, the exhibitors, the people, the fans, the attendees, everybody feel you're all kind of there for the shared single experience. So I find the shows are very different. They're both a lot of fun, but they're both very different. In terms of heroes versus villains, for me, it's got to be heroes. I'm just I like heroes. but your heroes are only as good as your villains, and I think that I do respect villain. I do like a good villain. I want a strong, good villain. And I particularly like when good guys become bad guys and bad guys become good guys. And I think that was probably something that I learned watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Joss Whedon, who likes to write like that. And I've always been impressed with that. He was the first one to kind of introduce me to that concept. When you could have a character like Angel, who you think of as this great hero, and then all of a sudden becomes this just incredible villain, and at the same time, this incredible villain like Spike, over time, starts to develop into a wonderful hero. So, I wish there was more of that. I think you're seeing a little of that play out in The Walking Dead. I think what they're trying to do with Eugene right now is a little bit like that. Yeah. Obviously, Daryl and Merle were definite villains. I thought the best part of Merle was a fantastic villain. And then, of course, I was practically in tears when he died by the end, because I was just like so, taken with his conversion and his switching sides, and he was a great hero at the end. So that's good writing. And so coming back to the original question, I prefer heroes, but they're only as good as their villains. So.
It's true. It's very true.
For instance, the Batman movies, the Nolan Batman movies.
Yep.
I loved the first one, but I think pretty much people agree that the second one, The Dark Knight, is the best. And I would argue that that's because it had the best villain. I mean, the Heath Ledger's Joker was just freaking off the freaking charts, and it just makes the hero that much better when the villain is really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes the Marvel movie villains are just a little too thin. They don't have the they don't have the gravitas to as much as, and they don't help the hero stand out as much. I don't think. If I had to find a flaw, which it's very hard for me to do with the Marvel movies because I love them all, that would be it.
Yeah, I'm the anti-hero guy. I'm Deadpool through and through. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but Deadpool's not an anti-hero. He's definitely a hero.
He's not a hero. He even says he's not a hero. He's just a douchebag in a suit that's really good at killing people.
People innocent.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
won't kill any innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Well, we
Mohinder.
Who? Oh, Mohinder. Yeah.
That was Mohinder.
I can't.
Remember the guy that he's fighting and realizes that he knows the guy, so he just knocks him out.
Yeah.
He's talking about his wife's tuna fish casserole and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's a hero, but he's just a dark hero.
He's always classified as the anti-hero, I guess. I don't know. That's usually what they throw
In the
out.
comics, they've made him bad again. They've made him actually a villain now in the comics. But I don't know. I don't read that. That's what I read.
I gotta look that up. I've fallen behind on my comics, so I got some work to do on that. Thomas says that you're a tracer, and that you need to get back to making the cruise piece. So he said, stop being a sketcher and get to work finishing the fucking cruise piece. So.
Listen, I got, all joking aside, Thomas is, I got to give a shout out to Thomas because he's like Walking Dead guardian angel, he's always pushing me to do more and giving me, some great ideas and suggestions that have really paid off in terms of tributes or ways to do things in terms of my show presentation and everything else, and he's really helped me out a lot, and I want to say props to Thomas because he's a good guy, and I really appreciate all that he does. So all the joking aside, I am working on a cruise poster with him right now. I don't go on the cruise, but he does, so we kind of coordinate together on that, and so that's been a lot of fun. I get my first chance with that to illustrate Robert Kirkman. And you guys will see that soon, and that was a lot of fun because he's the godfather of it all. So, but since I was shouting out to Thomas, there were a couple other people I wanted to shout out. If I could take a minute here since we're kind of wrapping up.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I just wanted to do a shout out to Oscar and Red Hat. He turned me on to you guys to begin with, so props to him for that. Oscar is a real like-minded spirit, and he's a great artist in his own right. And I've just he and his wife are great people, and I really cherish the fact that we've become friends at the shows. And lots of artists at cons and can be very competitive, and people are afraid to kind of give advice or take advice. And that's just never been the case with Oscar. He's really different in that way, and it's been very special getting to know him. So we joke a lot and tease each other a lot and everything else. But underneath it all, I appreciate his friendship. So I wanted to shout out to my boy Oscar.
Sorry, Thomas just typed "fuck Oscar." Go back to Thomas.
It's never enough for Thomas. That's the only thing about my boy Thomas.
He's a bit of a diva.
He is.
That's right. He's a bit of a diva. That's right. I also wanted to do a shout out to Scott Spillman, Robin Overton, who's the black and white guy, AJ Moore, who's at Gunfit, Rob Pryor, Rachel M. of RM Graphics. I love these guys. They're fellow artists. I often refer to them online as the Justice League of Artists, and it's been really fun doing shows with them and getting to know them and share ideas with them and learn things about the craft as well as about doing shows. And they're just all very generous people and talented artists in their own right. And I just feel really special to consider them part of my Walker Stalker family. So I wanted to do a shout out to them. I mentioned at the beginning about the Walker Stalker, people, James Frazier and Michael Guthis and Robin Justice. And, I can't thank them enough for all their support for my art and helping me to make it possible to do so many of their shows. And I feel honored and very appreciative of all that they've done for me too. So I want to make sure to do a shout out to them. I talked about Jason at the Walking Deadcast. Without Jason, I would never have been introduced to James Frazier or to the Walker Stalker cons, and he's a special guy as well. Super warm, super friendly. If you get a chance to listen to the Walking Deadcast podcast, I really recommend it. He also has a channel called Podcastica, and he now has a whole bunch of different podcasts on different things. Game of Thrones. They're just starting up a Westworld one, and so I hope people will support that. And of course, all my great Twitter peeps that keep me motivated and with all their amazing encouragement and support. You guys keep me going. And, there's too many to name them all, but Tiffany, Linda, Stitch, Suzy G, Renee, Kirk Spencer, Eugenia, Soaps, Eliza, a whole lot of crazy vibes, Lisa Marie, Paul, Angry Dog, Jessica, our queen, Tim, Creative Parties, Gay and Lord Vining, and so many more. I know I'm so. I really, I couldn't keep going without you guys, and I appreciate all of the love and support that I find online. And when you work for yourself and you work the studio, I mean, this is it. This is, a lot of you guys get up in the morning and you get in your cars, you go to work, you interact with 10, 15, 20, sometimes if you're in retail, maybe hundreds of people all day long. I interact with my computer.
Yeah.
My dog was over there snoring like a son of a bitch, and my kids when they come home from school. But it's a very isolated and not lonely, but it's very isolated. And in that sense, you don't get a lot of input from other people. So when I post work up and people respond to it and they praise it or they shit on it or whatever it is, I learn from both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. When people say, "Hey, I think this doesn't look good," or "I don't think you got that likeness right," I cherish that because if I don't want that work out there if it looks like crap. And so I appreciate all that out there, and so I consider all my Twitter peeps. That's my office, that's my support staff, that's my teammates, and so thanks to you guys, appreciate it.
Awesome, that's great. They're all saying thank you back. They all heard you. A lot of them heard you. We want to say thank you to you. Your fan base has come out and we're seeing new people that like Rachel. Someone new who's coming to the podcast tonight, so they wanted to come.
She's great.
Yeah, and Rachel's only 16, right?
She's a young kid. She's a talented artist.
Yeah.
She's the thing you'll find when you go to a Walker Stalker show is that if you walk through the art and you look at the different artists, all those artists I named, Spillman and the black and white guy and Robin and everybody else. Everybody's got kind of their own unique thing. Oscar. Everybody's got their style and their look, and it's unique. Or they've got a unique thing that they do. Robin does. Everything's just pencil.
Yeah.
Mine are episode specific tributes. Oscar's is very kind of a merging of the show and the comic book art. Yep. And they've all, Spillman's got this amazing realism and incredible vibrant color palette. And Rob Pryor's got this photorealism with this expressive, explosive color that goes in as well, and
right.
and his is amazing. And so when you walk through and you see all that, you realize that it sets them apart. And I'm always impressed when I see a new artist that has something that I think is unique. And Rachel is one of those artists. She's got this take where she's taking this story of this horrible apocalypse and zombies and this blood and this gore and this death, and she's doing it as if it was done by Disney.
yeah.
And
it's amazing.
And it's so cool. It's so cool, and she's only just started to kind of find herself in that respect.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where she goes with it. And I think she's going to be a force to reckon with. And I think Chicago is going to be the first show that she exhibits at. And
awesome.
I wish her the best with that. And I hope that, and Rachel, if there's anything you need, let me know. I'm here for you.
That's great. Rachel, we'll see you there in Chicago too. So how about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
You need to have her on here.
Look, we are an open door. Whoever comments and tweets to us, hey, DM us, whatever. We take everybody. You know what I mean? Shit, I'd even put this guy fucking what's his name, Thomas, on here. Yeah.
So he's some unknown. But we'll take him.
I put that camera walking away. Yeah, I'd put him on, I guess, maybe, and then probably just be like, oh, we had technical difficulties and shut his shit off. But absolutely, I would love to support. We support everybody. That's why we come here. We come here to support, to help. Not even that you need help, but just people who never seen your art. They get to see your art. And I mean, it's that interactive for the first time. And there was someone here. I don't know if he's still here or not. His name was the toy Biden was his name here. He went and bought 7 pieces of your art while he was watching the show.
Are you shitting me?
I swear. Yeah. I mean,
he's my new best friend.
Yeah. His name on YouTube is the Toy Biden, and I saw it earlier. It was way earlier. It was when you were talking about your deal. Was it buy 2 get 2 or something like that?
Right,
yeah.
Right. I got that going on right now.
He's like, I just got 7 pieces of art like that. I was like, well,
That's
you go.
Awesome.
There you go. So,
Awesome.
Love you, Thomas.
You're fucking welcome, Kirk.
Now you want your percentage, right?
No. We don't want shit, man. Just friendship. That's it. That's what we're here for. All right, everybody, listen. 2 hours in, we're gonna cut this out. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. Kirk, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for everything, for coming out, for supporting tonight, for listening, for all the wonderful questions. It's been a blast. I love to talk, so I'm never short for words. I don't always put them together correctly. I don't always remember names properly, but and I appreciate everybody's patience with that. But it's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it a lot, and I appreciate all the kindness and warmth and support that I get online from everybody. And so thank you very, very much.
No problem. Oh, let me see. Says, hey, what's up? This is me. Brian Donovan is his name.
Hey, Brian, what's up?
There you go. So Brian bought a bunch of your stuff, so there you go.
All right, cool.
Guys.
And if anybody has any follow-up stuff, if anybody has any questions, there were some big questions at the beginning about doing commission pieces or private stuff. Just you can go to my website and you can email me from there, or you can go to me on Twitter and message me there, or DM me, or I'm on Instagram. I don't do a good job. Twitter is really where I live. Facebook. Yeah, it's kind of sad actually, but Facebook I do just family stuff. I don't be offended if I don't follow you on Facebook. I've had a lot of people who send friend requests and stuff. Facebook gets like carried away super fast.
Yeah,
and I kind of wanted one place online where I could connect with my family and people and really close friends without there being a whole lot of like political craziness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And So that's kind of what I do there. And then Instagram, I just post my art to share with people there. I tend not to interact. Sometimes people write me on Instagram, and then sadly, I don't see it for like 5 weeks later. So I apologize for that. But Twitter, I'm good. You hit me up on Twitter, and I will get back to you right away. And if I'm not following you, I will, and you can DM me, and I'll answer any additional questions. Or people just have other art questions. Like how do you do this, or how do you do that, or do you have any advice on this? Hit me up. I'm always ready to share.
Well, as soon as we stop going live, we'll talk to you on the side. We're going to send you all the information for everybody and stuff like that. People wanted to have contact with you.
Oh, we are?
Did you already do it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's already in your DMs.
Dude, you're like efficient.
Yeah,
I try. You know,
I
gotta be worth something around here.
He's efficient when he wants to be. He's like that fridge that rattles, and you got to kick it every now and then to keep it fucking quiet.
I can't tell if you guys really, really like each other or you really hate each other. I can't tell which it is.
It's love-hate.
No, we're friends. We're very close friends. The problem is that we both have very strong personalities.
We are close, pal. You little fucking chicken nugget. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Next week, we'll be here again Wednesday with Nadine Marissa and Carrie Cahill. We're doing another duo.
We're doing a Kingdom duo.
So we'll post that. Be here for that. Thank you, Kirk. We appreciate it. Don't hang up.
Let as well.
I'm sorry? No,
Will
that'll
be live like this?
Yeah, that'll be live. Yep, that'll definitely be live. So look out for that. We'll post that for you guys. You guys can come catch them live here on with us. Other than that, everybody have a good night. Kirk, don't hang up. Peace out, everybody. Beastmode NY. Bye, Instagram
Later,
world.
guys.
Later.
Peace. Yeah, you got to do something with your phone because I don't know what's going on.
It froze. My phone froze. Probably from saving that gigantic 1 hour fucking video.
Oh, maybe. All right, we are.